So there we are. We come to a close. What conclusions can we draw from the last 2 days? I think one thing that's definitely come out is that Africa needs ever closer union. It needs to coordinate more in terms of cross borders, in terms of connectivity, branding. I think all that came out. We certainly heard that from a few of the ministers, and it sounds like that might well be the case, and ITIC may have a role in that. From Dr. Heyman, I got the idea that basically the notion that in the future it's going to be bilateral and multilateral agreements between countries. They're going to forge easier travel in the immediate future. And of course, from Gloria, we heard how coordinated protocols on vaccine certification and testing for international tourism seems to be the way forward. There is a path forward. It's not going to be easy, but there is a path forward. Interesting aspects that I gleaned from yesterday and today really is that domestic tourism in Africa is kind of booming. Really, it's really been one of the silver linings in the cloud of COVID. That's definitely on the rise, and it's going to be good for the whole continent if that is the future. Just talking in the raising capital sessions, we learned, well, we didn't learn, we know this anyway, but it's the simple fact that investing in small businesses, SMEs, is the way forward. We need to do more of that. When groups like the Commonwealth getting more involved, that's the way they're going to go. We heard about the Commonwealth Entrepreneurs Club. It wants to do that too. And even from the state governments and the city governments of Cape Town, we heard, and Western Cape, we heard how they definitely believe in PPP, that there has to be a public-private partnership that has to help forge, again, more coordination and make the route back. We also I think we know that discerning investors see beyond media headlines, because we all heard Najib's heartfelt plea really about stigmatization of Africa, and that needs to change. We need to get this narrative sorted. I mean, the simple fact is that Africa actually has been relatively unscathed compared to the rest of the world when it comes to COVID. I learned something interesting from Marcus Lee, who actually said at one point that that more women than men are coming as tourists to Africa, I beg your pardon. And that's an interesting development, and obviously, and also younger people from China. And he's suggesting a 2025 China-Africa big campaign, which sounds like a good thing. While we wait for tourism to really get back on the road, in terms of investment, it's infrastructure and training that are crucial. They can carry on right now, and that is a positive thing that everyone can do. And one interesting fact was that after Rwanda put sponsorship on, or put their name on Arsenal football shirts, tourism to Rwanda rose by 17% from the UK, is I think what I got there, which is an interesting point. So maybe that's the future. Every African country has a football team, a Premiership football team that they sponsor, but we'll see if that happens. Let me turn to our selected collective people here to ask about your takeaways. Let me go to you first, Taleb Rifai. Tell me, what did you glean? What did you get from today and yesterday?
Three things. One is the investment part. We're more investing in infrastructure than in real estate. We're more investing in things that serve tourism and serve the community, rather than just tourism. I spent 20 years of my life in tourism. I don't care about tourism. What I care about is what it does to people. And that's what the investment should be about. Highways, airports, ports, and all of these services. That's what's needed. Not more hotels or more strictly tourism infrastructure. It's more real estate, not real estate anymore. It's infrastructure. But the second part about investment is investing in technology and in SMEs. That's something that we all emphasize, because our industry is one about SMEs. 85% of our businesses are SME. So we need to direct the investors into that area. But in order to get investment, that gets to my second point. We need to restore confidence, trust. Confidence and trust can only be restored. There are two things that are there. One is a safer travel, and two is insurance policy. I think we need to look into some good insurance policies as a private sector plus government joint ventures to see how we could ensure people to have a safer peace of mind when they travel. Second thing is the vaccination part, which is what I completely agree with Gloria Guevara in saying that vaccination alone is not the solution. Because as I said before, it would take 5 years for 70% of the world population to be vaccinated. What we need to do is depend more on a mix of vaccination, testing, and antibodies testing as well, not just testing. We need to make sure that all people of the world can start moving right now. Testing should become more affordable, cheaper and easier to get for people. Which brings me to my last point, which is basically the political will. Political will. We can't do this alone. Any country, we've seen some very good stories, some very good success stories, but no country is going to do it on its own. It's not how you do it. It's how you work with others to make it happen. That's a very important part, because no matter what, people are going to come to you from other countries. So when you're going to go to other countries, that's the nature of travel and tourism. It brings people together, it connects people. So unless the whole world is vaccinated, or the whole world comes to an agreement on protocols, we're not going to get anywhere. So bilateral agreements, as you said, are important, but more important are regional agreements first. You start with your neighborhood and then you go to the whole world slowly. That's how things should happen. These are my takeaways. Thank you so much, Rajan, for everything. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you so much, Taleb. Let me now turn to Megan Oberholzer, who's the Portfolio Director for Travel, Tourism and Creative Industries for Reed Exhibitions.
I must also thank Reed and WTM for its partnership. They've been wonderful partners.
Thank you, Dr.
Right now, and to you, Megan, because you are, as I say, work for Reed Exhibitions, you've got the portfolio in South Africa. What's your takeaway and what message would you like to give?
Well, I think Dr. Taleb has really said it all, but what it comes back to is that public and private sector collaboration. And that's really where we come in as Africa Travel Week, which is comprised of WTM Africa and ILTM Africa, and it's working with our partners like ITIC, and I really want to thank them for this amazing partnership that we've enjoyed now for almost 2 years, and working together for the future. I think what's evident is that the need for content is there and the need to connect is there. So I would just like to touch base on a few things that are coming up in 2021. And we're really excited that come the 24th of June, we're going to be hosting a virtual African Tourism Investment Summit in partnership with ITIC. So really excited that that's coming around. And then even more exciting is when we hit September, which is Tourism Month in South Africa, we're going to be hosting the African Tourism Investment Summit with ITIC in a live format in the host city of Cape Town. And hopefully by that stage, we'll see a lot of what is being discussed today coming to the fore, and we'll have even more conversations rolling off the back of that. So from our side, just a massive thank you, and we really appreciate everyone for joining. I know that there are people from all around the world in different time zones, so thank you for taking your time.
Megan, thank you very much indeed as well, and hopefully we will all meet in September in Cape Town. To you, Ibrahim, Ayoub, how have you felt the last couple of days has gone, and what do you see happening in the year ahead?
I mean, it has been very insightful for the past 2 days. And first of all, I would like to thank also WTM, right? I've been very proud to work with WTM. And this African Tourism Investment Summit has been really a very passionate time working with all the speakers. I'm going to go to the chapter of thanking all the speakers with all the different time zones, like Megan said. right? No, I think we are very proud to contribute to that revival and rebuilding and to restart travel and tourism industry in Africa in that post-pandemic to facilitate and channeling investment into sustainable and green project. I mean, the key takeaways, I think, would be like Taleb has summarized it. I can't go better than what Taleb has said, right? But I think the most important thing is to follow up on the vaccination process. I mean, Africa has been, I mean, we all said at the beginning, I mean, the prediction were that Africa would be ravaged with the pandemic, but that we have seen the contrary, right? And in fact, with less death, I mean, happening in the pandemic in Africa, and also less cases. I mean, there are certain exceptions, of course, but the process of the vaccination is very important for the continent to restart travel and tourism. And like Minister Balala said it rightly, that infrastructure, without infrastructure, you can't open up. And I think that's the time now to do it. And the branding of Africa is, I think, very important, because in order to change the narration, the narrative on how you position Africa, it's always been, like you said, the stigmatization of the continent. I think that is something very important, and what Marcus also said. And it's 1.3 billion people within Africa and 1.4 billion people in China. And when you look about the bubble that could create, it's massive. And by the time Europe is going to restart, right, like Claire said about amazing how Rwanda got the increase, the jump from 17% with that branding of Rwanda on the Arsenal shirt. And we don't know about Paris, about Paris Saint-Germain in France, what is the increase in French tourism. But to tell you, that's quite interesting to see. We need to change that perception. And on the other side, I believe I mean, all that will help to restore trust and confidence among travelers and investors, so that we all make the most of the business opportunities that will emerge in the future, right? And hearing about Zubok's project, you know, in Madagascar is really fantastic and optimistic. And Dr. Diamana, Frederick, and John Piniger about all the different areas on West Africa to develop. That's really good news, I would say. I mean, in this conference, what we did today is a teaser. Like Megan said, we're going to do to go and to have a continuation in June to build up, and then when we all meet in September on the 1st to the 3rd. I mean, we need to bring that challenge of what Minister Balala, what you said this morning, and with the Commonwealth, the EU, and other partners like Malaga, Greece, and so forth, we can bring together on the 1st and the 3rd of September to bring this African ideas he would like to help, to bring that ministerial summit in Cape Town. That would be really interesting. So that's what I would gather. But on the other side, I would like, if you have some more minutes allocated, I would like to thank all the valued speakers that contributed, and especially, you know, all the ministers who have graciously participated, showing that has showed, of course, their high-level commitment, uniting Africa for the betterment of the continent. And that's very important. I think we got like 9 or over 8 or 9 ministers participating. So that's quite interesting. I would like also to thank my back office team, right? Without the back office team, this event wouldn't have been able to be successful. Kostas, I will put some names here: Kostas, Sotiris, Elisha, Isrina, Jovan, George, and the WTM team, Megan, your team, Amanda, Martin, with whom I have been working with, I mean, tirelessly in order to make it successful. We've been on the phone, on WhatsApp, on email, non-stop. I mean, night and days. We have not looked at the time, but I think all the team, it's been a very good team, I would say. Very collaborative type of work. And to my ITIC directors, Paul, you made a fantastic job. I mean, who has been all the time on the investment side.
You're too kind.
Gerald Lawless, unfortunately, couldn't be with us today. I mean, I'm sure he's watching us, I mean, from where he is at his home, recovering from his recent surgery, successful, I would say. And on the last, but is our chairman, Dr. Taleb Rifai, who has been instrumental for the success of ITIC since its inception. Thank you, Taleb. Right.
You're
and
welcome. We should thank you also, Ibrahim. You forgot yourself. You're the one that made it all happen. Thank you.
I think we should also thank Rajan, who's done us another splendid job.
And Rajan.
Of course, I'm coming to Rajan. Rajan has been with us now for almost 2 years. You know, almost, I mean, I would say, yeah, right. We've been, I mean, I think Rajan knows ITIC better than us now.
He's one of us. He's one of us.
One of us, yes, absolutely. And I would like to thank also all our supporting partners. I mean, WTTC, Gloria Guevara has been a very good supporter of ITIC from the very beginning when we started WTTC. We've been with us, right? And thank you, Gloria, and make a valuable contribution about each time and on investment, on her valuable insight, and also on the figures. When you look about the accurate figures, and I would say WTTC has been one of the organizations that has been on the forefront since this pandemic started to try to bring all sorts of solutions. I mean, try to unite everybody together. And well done, WTTC. Thank you so much. Cuthbert and QB of ATB, I mean, trying to bring all Africa under one roof. I think he is working day and night to fight for Africa. Thank you, Cuthbert, and would like to work with you. And also, I would like to bring on the Commonwealth Entrepreneur Club here. And MP and Vice Chairman of Commonwealth, Jan Little Granger. I mean, we are having exciting times. I know we are going to do a project with the Commonwealth on the 7th of July, excuse me. So which we are going to announce very soon. So that is going to be exciting. I mean, of bringing back all the Commonwealth together. We had an exceptional panel last November that was moderated by the BBC, your colleague Rajan Lerato. And now we have built up again today, and we have seen the commitment that the Commonwealth want to bring to Africa. And the UK post-Brexit, I would say, is quite amazing and good news. The EU, Greece, Malaga, all the other countries that are willing to work with Africa. Thank you, Ian and Mobin. Professor Lee Miles and Dimitrios from Bournemouth University, thank you for the partnership. We love to have this partnership again. The Bournemouth has been with us from the very beginning, you know, and all our partners are loyal partners, I would say. And our PR company, partners, right, who is doing a tremendous amount of work behind the scene to make, ITIC to be successful. Right, so that's really interesting. Very brief. Our next summit we've agreed would be at ATM in a month's time, almost like 19th and 27th of May, so that you can join us for the Middle East Summit. I talk about the Commonwealth, and obviously with Africa, we are going to do the 2 summits, like Megan said and I said earlier. Right, we would love all of you to follow us, and we will follow up the progress from this summit we've done today, and the progress along the way to June and to September, where we are going to bring everybody together. And of course we are going to be in London, right, with WTM. Hopefully that the September and the November conferences are going to be live, because we can't wait to see each other in person, right? And by that time we will make good progress. And my last message, I would say, to my brothers and sisters of Africa, let's unite our destiny, you know, during this pandemic time and during this summit, and also to pave the way for the betterment of our beloved continent. Thank you so much.
Ibrahim, thank you. And I think just a few words now from Paul, because in many ways, that last session, Paul, shows that there is vibrancy, there is desire for future investment to happen, that Africa is very much open for business when it comes to investment. Times may be tough at the moment, but the future is very, very bright for Africa. Absolutely, no question about it. And just the 3 projects which we heard about today fill one with excitement and enthusiasm. And I mean, the investment they're looking for is not thousands of billions of dollars, but in hundreds, and some in terms of tens. But it's not just a question of what these developments bring. I mean, yes, they're hotel, they're resort, they're eco-lodges, but they're all complying now with environmental and sustainable goals as established by the United Nations, which can only be for the good. And of course, it's not just the question of the investment and the developments, but along with that goes greater wealth for the people of the countries and the towns and villages, education, employment, and growing wealth little by little, building up the various territories. So it's really fantastic and exciting to be part of this industry still now, which I've been connected with for many decades, in common with my good partners in business, Dr. Rifai and Ibrahim Ayoub. And I have been involved with World Travel Market since it very first started in London in 1979, if I'm correct. So now to see to be involved and have connections with WTM Africa and elsewhere around the world, and with the upcoming Arabian travel market, which we're privileged to be working again with WTM and Reed, things can only get better, and it's been a pleasure to be part of the whole process and going forward. Thank you very much. A very suitable note on which to end. Thank you very much. And on behalf of all of us here, thank you very much for joining us today and yesterday. And we will see you again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rajan. Thank you, Rajan.